Right now, I am walking through an old military facility in the city of Bastogne. This is known as the Bastogne Barracks. Originally, this was a facility for the Belgian army, and then when the Germans moved through here in 1940 and occupied this area, well, they took over the barracks. In September of 1944, when the 28th Infantry Division liberated the city of Bastogne, well, the U.S. 8th Corps ended up setting up their operations here. And then during the Battle of the Bulge, well, as the Germans were moving through, General Middleton of the 8th Corps moved out. And this right here became the headquarters for General McAuliffe of the 101st Airborne. And one of the most famous incidents that has become iconic here in the Siege of Bastogne happened right here at this place. Again, this is the Bastogne Barracks, and it was right here in this building where the defining moment of the Battle of the Bulge took place. So you can see up here they have a plaque on the outer wall. It's got a picture of Anthony McAuliffe on it, and down below it tells a little bit about what had happened. Well, what happened was that at around 11:30 in the morning on December 22nd, there were a couple guys from the 327th Glider Regiment who were on the Bastogne perimeter, and they looked down the road and noticed 4 Germans walking towards them with a white flag. Well, those guys had been sent out by a local German corps commander by the name of General von Lutzwitz, and the message that they were carrying basically said that the Americans were without hope, that they were surrounded, and that they would be destroyed. It also kind of threatened the civilians in the area. Well, they were blindfolded and brought back here, and when General McAuliffe saw the note, he said, "Us surrender, all nuts." So as they were trying to figure out, how they were going to respond, one of the guys who was down in the basement here said, "Well, General, why don't you reply with what you said originally? Nuts." So they drafted a message that said, "To the German commander, nuts."
So I'm at the Bastogne Barracks where General McAuliffe said his famous line, "Nuts." And this is the patch he was wearing in 1944 when he said those words. Now, I brought this patch back here with some veterans a few years ago, but right now the door is closed because they're making a brand new museum. So this is as close as we can get. But this is the building, and it's an honor to be here today with General McAuliffe's patch at Bastogne Barracks.
The Germans bombed Bastogne at night and strafed occasionally during the day. On the 22nd, the German commander, ridiculously enough, demanded surrender of the surrounded town. I just replied, "Nuts," for I knew that one word best expressed the feelings of the division. The wounded were wonderful. No words can describe their cheerful acceptance of a tough situation. On Christmas Day, the Germans launched their biggest attack with infantry and tanks in large numbers from the west of Bastogne and the rear of the position. Prisoners later told us that their officers had told them that Bastogne was to be a Christmas present for the Führer. The Christmas present consisted of a number of hulks that lie in the center of the ground back of Bastogne now, destroyed by Americans and the infantry repulsed at the same time. On December 26, at 5 p.m., we made contact with friendly troops. Through it all, no one doubted for an instant that we would hold the town under any sort of attack the Germans could put on. The 101st Airborne Division has met and defeated the Germans in Normandy and Holland, and will continue to do so whenever called upon.
All right, we've moved over to a different part of the city. And of course, through the latter part of December and early part of January, the 10th Armored and the 101st were besieged here at Bastogne until, well, this guy right here shows up with his 3rd Army, George Patton. So again, we are in the town of Bastogne, just down the road from McAuliffe Square. We're going to be going there in a later video and showing some stuff. But it's appropriate that they have a memorial to Patton here, even though there was kind of a little bit of antagonism between the guys of the 101st and 10th Armored and those of the 3rd Army that Patton was commanding about, you know, Patton coming up to relieve the siege or to break the siege of Bastogne. He's part of the story, and the 3rd Army is part of the story. So it's important, I think, to have this memorial here. One thing to note, they show 4 stars on his helmet. At the time that Patton was here, he was only a 3-star general. But anyway, yeah, this is the Patton Memorial. All right, well, that was a little bit from right here in Bastogne on General McAuliffe of the 101st Airborne. Now, the people of Bastogne never forgot McAuliffe. As a matter of fact, when he came back in 1950, they had a ceremony in the square where they renamed the square McAuliffe Square to remember and to honor him. So, yeah, pretty cool that we could bring his shoulder patch back here today.